Module 1 Reading Preview. Our assigned readings for this week focus on writing as a process. Lindemann begins at the beginning with a rationale for teaching writing. She then addresses writing as a rhetorical activity, an interaction among writer, text, and reader. Then she covers the writing process. Part 2, Chapter 7 discusses pre-writing strategies. Her discussion is an overview drawing on seminal research from other scholars. In the Villanueva text, we'll read some of that seminal scholarship from the 1970s. Donald Murray is one of the most well-known and accessible scholars of the writing process. I like that he tells teachers to shut up and let students write. Exactly. Janet Emick, author of The Composing Processes of 12th Graders, draws on linguistics, education, psychology, and literature to establish the uniqueness of writing as a learning tool. Sandra Pearl presents an empirical study of unskilled writers' writing processes, concluding that these writers employ complex writing processes, so teachers cannot start from scratch. They must address the strategies that work and strategies that lead students astray. Nancy Summers presents another empirical study, this one concluding that inexperienced writers focus on words rather than on ideas in the revision process. Instead of measuring writing against a predetermined meaning, they need to treat writing as discovery. Most handbooks also begin with a section on the writing process. For example, the MLA handbook begins with a section on research and drafting, and Diana Hacker's A Writer's Reference begins with composing and revising. You might take a look at one of these kinds of introductions to the writing process. Also in the Villanueva text, James Berlin categorizes theoretical approaches to teaching the writing process, identifying 4 schools of thought. The Neo-Aristotelians or classicists, the positivists or current traditionalists, the Neoplatonists or expressivists, and the new rhetoricians. It's important to recognize that while teachers may all value writing as a process, our own philosophies may encourage us to employ differing theoretical orientations to instruction. It's also important to recognize that the trend among composition scholars since the 1970s, as Berlin indicates about his own theoretical orientation, has moved away from current traditional rhetoric and expressivism toward new rhetoric. The last selection from the Villanueva text in this module is David Bartholomew's Inventing the University, which is a seminal work that situates the writing process and writing instruction within the larger project of higher education. If we imagine that the project of higher education is to develop new knowledge through research and creative endeavors, and to equip students to do so, the composition classroom must empower students not only to write, but to join disciplinary communities of scholars embarked on creating new knowledge. In this effort, students need to be trained not so much in correctness, but in approximating the moves academics make in situating their ideas within ongoing disciplinary conversations.